It's showtime, folks!
Alright, welcome back. It is the WWE Summerslam preview and prediction show. It's your boy, I'm ready to get this started. If you're a wrestling fan, hit that thumbs up button for your boy. Hit that like button if you love wrestling, if you're a wrestling fan. So, let's get right on into this. Alright, this is gonna be a long preview, but we're gonna go bit by bit. So first up, we have the Big Show versus Big Cass. Alright, this feud has been, I'll tell you what, there's been some good storytelling going on heading into SummerSlam. There's been some not so good storytelling going on heading into SummerSlam. This falls into the not so good storytelling. This all started with Big Cass and Enzo, the split. And now we have this thing where Enzo is kind of like playing Big Show's best friend, and the whole angle with Big Cass has been, I haven't been really interested in the entire thing. Heading up to this past Raw, the best thing that's happened out of this feud has been that I was when Big Cass smashed Big Show's forearm on the cage door, so that was pretty good. But the feud overall, Also, this match has been a host of many matches that has already been given away on free TV. In fact, there's been 6 matches on this card that's been given away on free TV, in full form or in some form. But looking at the winner of this match, I have to give it to Big Cass. He needs to win the most, and I think he will pull it off this Sunday, by hook or by crook, with help or not. Big Cass will be your winner. Alright, moving on, we have the New Day versus the Usos for the SmackDown Tag Team Championships, excuse me. And this has fallen into the line of good storytelling. The New Day and the Usos have had great chemistry going back to the Raw days before the brand split, and it's just rolled right on during SmackDown. And their matches have been great, and even going to their promos versus their dueling promos against each other, the rap battle, everything has just been great, and I expect a great match here. Possible show stiller, and I'm very much looking forward to it. These guys have fantastic chemistry once again, and looking at the result, the Usos have been doing so well to where I find myself kind of rooting for them to get the titles back. But with that said, the New Day just got the titles recently, so with that being said, I think, and especially with the Usos getting the upper hand on this past SmackDown, I think the New Day will put it off here. They will get the victory, they will retain the titles, and who knows, this feud may go on forever. They might fight forever, like they say. But moving on, we have Finn Balor versus Bray Wyatt. This has been a feud that's felt like it has been going on forever. Because if you go back and think about it, Bray Wyatt's first appearance prior after the Superstar Shakeup was interrupting Finn Balor. So for all of that time, I had been thinking, okay, this is something we're about to get into, first time match, and it has taken us all of this time to get here. And to put the cherry on top, they have thrown away the first time matchup on Raw, as Bray Wyatt got the clean win. I do not understand that. Finn Balor, he poured blood out over Finn Balor. That's gonna bring back the gimmick for Finn Balor, and it's going to be a cool visual and whatnot, but I expect them to have a decent match at best. But obviously, we're going to have a case of 50-50 booking here, as Bray Wyatt got the upper hand on Raw, and of course, Finn Balor is going to get the win in this match. So, moving on, we have Randy Orton versus Rusev, and this match was kind of just thrown together. I mean, out of nowhere, Rusev issued the challenge after he beat Chad Gable. That was a great match, by the way. Randy Orton answered, and we've built from there. I mean, there hasn't been much built because the only interactions after that were both guys sneak attacking each other with one move. And I find that to be strange. But it is what it is, I guess. I mean, this could have really been one of SmackDown's main matches, one of SmackDown's mainly built matches, but it has not been. But however, I really have moderately high expectations for this match. Rusev can move around really well, and it kind of takes the right opponent for Randy Orton to have a good match. You know, sometimes he has some stinkers out there, but it's okay. I think him getting in the ring with Rusev, I think it'll be a good mix, and I'm probably going with my heart here as for the result, because Rusev really needs this victory. I mean, he lost his pay-per-view match with John Cena. He didn't need to lose that, and he does not need to lose here. And I really think they're going to give Rusev the win here. And I really hope they'll give Rusev the win here. So moving on, we have Dean Ambrose and Seth Rollins versus Cesaro and Sheamus for the Raw Tag Team Championship. I had a brain freeze right there, but this has been one of the best built matches heading into SummerSlam of the entire card. Probably the best, some would argue, because they have been teasing Ambrose and Rollins team up together for quite some time now, for months now, and they finally, you know, came home and gave us the goods on the Go Home show, and the crowd exploded. You know, I'm an old school wrestling fan. I really love it when there's an angle going on and the crowd is just loving it. They want it to happen. They want it to happen. They want it to happen. And they finally get it and they explode. And it was a cool moment last Monday. It was a very cool moment. So heading into the match, I have an interesting take on this. I had to take that, you know, of course, that Ambrose and Rollins would team back up. But for the result, Dean Ambrose will turn heel on Seth Rollins. This Sunday, it will be a short reunion as Cesaro and Sheamus will pick up the win. Dean Ambrose will turn back heel, will turn heel, and we'll get a program kicked off with Seth Rollins. I guess you could say the reason for him turning heel would be for him to turn heel before Rollins could turn heel on him. So that would be a great reasoning to kick off a program with those two guys heading into post SummerSlam. So Cesaro and Sheamus will get the win here. All right. Next up, we have John Cena versus Baron Corbin, and I've been waiting to get to this. Okay. First of all, this seems like a feud where they just, you know, set up and got everything ready for SummerSlam, and John Cena and Baron Corbin was left over, and they were like, yeah, let's put them two together. So this just kind of feels thrown together. They had the back and forth promo where John Cena called him skinny and fat. I mean, I guess him and Triple H has the same logic and theories on skinny and fat, but we're not going to get into that. Looking at this past episode of SmackDown, this was one of those what were they thinking moments. We had John Cena versus Jinder Mahal, and I don't understand why that match was happening in the first place, but Baron Corbin comes down, he interrupts, it's a DQ, Cena wins, and for the life of me, okay, I'm thinking Baron Corbin's in the ring, so why doesn't he cash in? So he does cash in, and I'm like, oh, okay, about to get a Baron Corbin win, and all of a sudden, Jinder Mahal rolls Baron Corbin up. The match is over. Baron Corbin has lost his briefcase. Now, the first thing I think is, what in the world? I literally, after that after the finish, I tweeted, "Screw you, WWE," because what were they thinking? Baron Corbin is young and up and coming, and look, it's not just that he lost. It's not just that he lost on a schoolboy roll-up. It's the fact that they threw away a Money in the Bank briefcase cash-in strictly for a build to SummerSlam. So they think, they're probably thinking, okay, what's the best way, the best way we can build to this Cena and Baron Corbin feud, the best way to extend it? Okay, let's just throw the Money in the Bank briefcase out of the window. So I'm just outdone with that. That was I don't want to say idiotic decision, but it was a short-term thinking decision, and I do not like it whatsoever. But moving on, and I mean, I guess we'll see if Corbin can bounce back from this. But moving on, we have this match, John Cena versus Baron Corbin. I'm not expecting a whole lot from it. I've seen this tends to carry its weight in matches, so it could be one of those matches where you don't expect a lot, but it surprises you. But looking at the result, I'm kind of scared here because John Cena has lost the big match with Shinsuke Nakamura. He technically won the match against Mahal, but Jinder Mahal got the DQ win. Got the DQ on him as he interrupted in the match. I guess you could technically say Cena got the upper hand by interrupting the cash-in, but I wouldn't say that myself. With that said, I have a sneaky feeling that John Cena is going to win this match. And with going on my official result and my prediction, I do think John Cena is going to win this match, and that's going to be bad news for Baron Corbin and the likes of his storylines moving forward. So moving on, we have AJ Styles versus Kevin Owens. And I'm having to take deep breaths here. We are a bunch of matches in already. We still have a bunch to go. We have AJ Styles versus Kevin Owens for the United States Championship. Looking at this feud, it all started at I don't know if it technically started at Backlash, but their first official match in this feud was at Backlash. There was a count-out victory. The title didn't change hands. Kevin Owens won, and I figured, this is something to save the match for later, and that they'll save this match for a big pay-per-view like SummerSlam. However, what I haven't liked in this build is that they've been changing the title back and forth, and that decreases the value of the belt, and it decreases the value of your interest in the match at a big pay-per-view, if you ask me. We've already seen this match millions of times. I mean, but now we have Shane McMahon as the guest referee. They've had some fantastic promos, AJ, Owens, and Shane. They've had two great promos where they've had some good storytelling. AJ hit Shane with the Pele. The first week, Owens super kicked him the next week on accident. And some good storytelling there, but this could be one of your matches of the night, actually. Looking forward. However, one of the things that has plagued AJ Styles and Kevin Owens in recent weeks is that they've had great matches, but the end of their matches have been non-logical and just outright, I don't want to say dumb, I don't want to be rude, but it has been outright bad at the end of the match, and I'm hoping we don't get that here. So looking forward, I don't see a reason to take the belt off of AJ Styles yet. I think they should keep the belt on him, and I think he will win here. And I think he'll pick up the victory, and we'll see how this feud moves on, or if they both move on to different things. I don't know how that'll play out, but I do think that AJ Styles will get the victory here. So moving on, we have Naomi versus Natalya for the SmackDown Women's Championship. So This all got started when Natalya defeated Charlotte for the #1 contendership in that 5-way women's matchup. And I gotta say, I was quite surprised when Natalya picked up the victory. It was kind of one of those decisions out of left field, but it was one of those decisions out of left field that I didn't have a problem with. No, Natalya is a pedigreed wrestler, great background, and she deserves this. So the build to this match has been fairly average, but looking at the result of the match itself, I expect it to be pretty good at best. I don't expect it to blow the roof off exactly, but in the end, it will be a passable match. And in the end, I think SmackDown will pull the trigger on Natalya, and I think they will put the title on Natalya. You know, SmackDown, whoever's running it, the creative process, they have a knack for, you know, putting the trigger on results that you don't see coming. I.e. Jinder Mahal. So I think that's going to happen with Natalya. She's going to pick up the win here. She will be your new SmackDown Women's Champion. Alright. Deep breaths. I got a lot of matches in. Still something to go. So next up we have Alexa Bliss versus Sasha Banks for the Raw Women's Championship. Alright. So looking at this matchup, this all got started as well at the Great Balls of Fire pay-per-view, where Sasha picked up the count-out victory over Alexa Bliss. And after that match, I was assuming, well, you know, that automatically means that, you know, Sasha's going to get her rematch back at some point. And apparently they were gonna go with Bayley, but Bayley got hurt, and here we are now. Now, Alexa Bliss had a very interesting quote in recent days where she talked about how herself and Sasha had legitimate beef or whatever, but she keeps business with business and personal as personal, and that's why they're able to put on great matches. Now, as for this match itself, I expect it to be a great match. The match at Great Balls of Fire was really good. If you go back and look at it, it's just that the result sucked. But looking at the result of this match, this is one of the toughest matches to predict of the night. But in the end, I think they're gonna go with Sasha Banks to become your 4-time, that's crazy by the way, 4-time women's champion, and she will win, and I expect this feud to continue. I expect it to move on, and I expect more great matches out of it. Alright, here we go. The SmackDown WWE Championship match. We have Jinder Mahal versus Shinsuke Nakamura. Alright. I'll tell you what, the build to this has been very confusing. Okay, Shinsuke Nakamura won the right to face Jinder Mahal by beating John Cena. And I expected the build for Nakamura and Mahal to go from there. However, we got the painstakingly dumb result to have Jinder Mahal lose to Randy Orton clean, just out of nowhere in a grudge match. I mean, who thought that would be a good idea? And I mean, look, we're past that, and the only interaction these two have had is one promo, or one interview where Shinsuke intervened on this recent episode of SmackDown, and that's it. That's all the build we have to this match. I mean, I expect him to put on a good show, but you know, you want to have a match. Well, wrestling is something to where you want to look forward to a match. You want something to draw you in, and I'm just not drawn in to this match. So looking at the result, look, the Jinder Mahal run has to end now. It has to be over, and this is on the fault of WWE Creative on not getting this run right with Jinder Mahal. They've been wasting him in match after match with Orton, and now it's at a point to where he has to lose the belt. And Shinsuke Nakamura has been on the roll. There's no excuse not to put the belt on Shinsuke here, and he will win this match. He will become the new WWE champion. Excuse me. You know, I would have been worried about a Baron Corbin cash-in. That would have been intriguing, but they threw that away. So Shinsuke Nakamura will reign supreme. Maybe this feud will continue or not, and I'm interested to see what happens with Shinsuke as the new WWE champion. So, and I need a sip of water here. But moving on to the last match of the night, we have Brock Lesnar versus Braun Strowman versus Roman Reigns versus Samoa Joe for the Universal Championship. And let me tell you, this is another situation to where we've had variations of this match kind of given away on free TV, and it is what it is. But I'll tell you what, the interactions between these four guys have been just tremendous, especially the first time around when they had the promo where the match was originally made. Samoa Joe got in Brock's face, and that was just great. And these guys continue to get in each other's faces. We had the Braun Strowman and Brock Lesnar face off in tease on the Go Home show of Raw. And I really enjoyed that to an extent. And looking at this match, it's going to be ridiculously bananas. And that's the only way I can describe it, because I think they're really going to let these guys just go all out. Weapons and all, because this will be a no DQ. It's a 4-way. And look, first of all, wins, and this is going to be crazy. You know, we have the build with Brock Lesnar so-called leaving WWE if he doesn't win. But in the end, as a result, and I'm not buying that he's leaving, you know, I'm not buying that whole storyline. They're just trying to hook you in. Because Brock Lesnar's going to leave, he's going to come back. But in the end, as I've been saying for quite some time now, WWE needs to put the belt on Samoa Joe. I've said this, months ago or last month, whenever Samoa Joe fought Brock Lesnar. I've been saying that. And at SummerSlam, they will put the belt on Samoa Joe, one of the hottest acts going in WWE right now. That title needs to be on weekly programming. It needs to get off of Brock Lesnar. And I see a fantastic opportunity here, as for whatever reason they don't want to have Brock take a loss. That would be a huge putover for an opponent. But I expect Samoa Joe to pin someone else, whether it be Braun or Roman. I expect him to either pin or, well, I'm gonna go with the tap out. He's gonna tap one of those guys out, and the crowd is gonna explode in New York for Joe, and he's gonna be the new champion. I'm very much looking forward to that match, and I'm very much looking forward to that result happening. He will be your new Universal Champion. So, I've made it through this review. It was quite a long review, but I made it. And if you like this review, feel free to hit that subscribe button, and feel free to come back for more. I break down wrestling every single week for wrestling fans, so feel free to stop on by, come on back, and stay tuned. Also, stay tuned to my Twitter page, Swiss Army Night 4. I will be live tweeting SummerSlam, so come join me there if you want, and live tweet with me. So thank you for staying tuned for this long, for this review.